And then can you just specify, Kevin, the difference between the list and the tags?
Yeah. All right, let me show you, see if I can do this because well, I intended before the launch to do this, and didn't, but I wanted to do a show with Donna Fox to talk about best practices in regard to tags and lists. Because one of the things that I've learned about it is that the way you name your lists, you have to keep in mind that customers are going to see this. And so, what happens is if you go into, let's see if I can show you an email from me today. Should have gotten an email from me today about Groove Secure. Here we go. So this is an email that came from my Groove Mail. And so let's say you got this and you're like, oh, I'm tired of getting emails from him. So you click unsubscribe.
Mhm.
So when you click unsubscribe as a client, as a list contact, you see this. And you can see here that I am currently, it's only going to show you the lists that you are on, but I'm currently on the Your Best Groove updates, new product announcements, Groove tools and tips, general business tools, current customer updates, Groove Secure, and Kevin Streit's list. So, frankly, those are all kind of normal named lists, but I don't
Mhm.
even know what Kevin Streit's list is. It's in my account, and that was probably some test thing I was doing at one point. But what I want to show you is inside my account, when I started setting this up, you can see that I have 6 pages. I have over 60 lists
Mhm.
because I was trying to figure this out. What should I name these things? So,
Mhm.
so I have a list called super affiliates. That one's not too bad. You could be on that list and it would make sense. But here's one, requested bonus videos, completed funnel build. If you got that and you're like, why am I on the completed? Okay, that kind of makes sense. Complete groove guides. December 6th. Here's a list called December 6th.
Mhm.
Webinar. So it makes. I went back. This is what I'm in the process of doing. I'm in the process of removing all of these old lists
Mhm.
and replacing them with ones that make more sense. Makes more sense, like current customer updates, general business tools and tips. So you can then unsubscribe from anyone that you want to, because you can see here you can unsubscribe from a specific mailing list. So let's say I don't want to be on Kevin Streit's list anymore, but I still want to get these updates. So when I click unsubscribe now, I'm only unsubscribing from one, or you can do unsubscribe me from all, which is this
Mhm.
is standard for emailing systems. So that's what your naming of your lists really ought to be, how you're interacting with that list. What do you plan to send to that list? If you're only ever going to send, you know, health tips, right?
Mhm.
You can have a list called health tips from, Veronica, or whatever. Then that would be one list, and that's what you're sending. But if you're going to send health tips and then you're also going to send new products, you might want to be aware, or a, a lot of times people will call it, um, promotional emails, right? So you could have a list called promotional emails. Well, I might want your health tips, but not your promotional emails. So it gives your customer control over what kinds of things they're going to be receiving from you. And so that's why I shifted when I saw that unsubscribe, because that's where the customer sees what lists they're on. And if they see a list that says, hot prospects, right? Or, won't buy my products, or crazy things like that, that's not good connection with your customers. So
Right.
that's the way I would go about it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then, okay, and then tags. You said the difference between lists and
Mhm.
tags. So let's talk about tags just a little bit. Tags, this is the way it is with Groove. Groove has, I say this a lot, Groove is very, very powerful, which means it can be very complex. So as an example, tags have to be in a category. So you have to create a category before you can add any tags. And sometimes, you're only going to have 5 tags in your system. They bought this, they bought this, they bought this, they bought this, they bought this. 5 tags. You don't really need a category in that case. So what you have to do, I would say, is create your initial category that is general tags. And you can put general kinds of things in here. Here's what I do. I have general tags. I don't use them very often anymore because the more segmented you get, as a systems designer way back in the 80s, I knew that the more detail we keep at the bottom level, the more power we have in choosing who we want to connect with. And so back in the day, like user IDs, systems that were written back in the 80s before people started to figure this all out, the user ID was their name and what class they were in and what course they were taking. That was we were putting everything into one piece. And then we started to say, well, no, the user ID should just be a random number. And then we should keep that data all in the file. So that's kind of the way you think of tags. So I have a category that's general, but then I have a category that's called Your Best Groove Products Purchased. And that's where I keep track in GrooveMail of every product that was purchased. And so then I have another one of forms that people filled out. And again, I'm just trying to capture the kinds of things that my contacts have engaged with me in. Now, here's the thing. We're supposed to be getting a activity log is what David Lemon calls it. And the activity log is going to have all that stuff in it. So at that point, I'm not sure tags are going to be very useful at all, because I'm using tags right now to track basically what kinds of activities they've engaged with. But I have to right now. You have to do that right now. So when you're doing tags, don't create too many categories, because then you got to go find which tag is in which category. And I would keep my categories few and then put more tags underneath the categories.